We are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to, what is it? Day 48. Day 48 revenue is $790, and we're continuing to move forward with ViewCreator. Today, we are going to be focused pretty much the big admission of today is because we have our mainstream launch next week. One issue that I've seen come up is that obviously, you know, with being in beta and now moving to launch, we do have errors in the product. And something I want to share with you all is when I worked at a previous startup, something that happened was I was working with a pretty skilled software engineer as a mentor. And something that he shared with me was essentially that, it's okay to ship products with problems as long as you have a good feedback mechanism and logging to be able to identify issues as they arise. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to get the stream set up, and then we'll get right into it, and I'll talk a little bit more about this. But yeah, so that's something that we're going to be working on today. J35, welcome to the stream. Bill Laura, welcome to the stream. Samuel with Code, welcome to the stream. Thanks for being one of the first people on, guys. That lets me know that you guys have notifications turned on. Really appreciate the support. If you guys are just tuning in, make sure you hit the like button. Helps out a lot. But something that we're going to be really focused in on today is I actually think that I would like to switch our logging system to Datadog. And the reason for that is, a decent reason is that, essentially I use Datadog at Bright Choice and it was pretty good. It helped us a lot be able to set up alerts and have better visuals and summaries of essentially some of our logging systems. Right now we're using CloudWatch in AWS, which is essentially the native setup there. So we're going to have to decide today. We're going to talk to ChatGPT and kind of figure out, okay, like, should we transition to a Datadog setup? Should we keep it in AWS and just see if we can improve the actual fundamental logging system? So we're going to do that and try and make a decision on that. But also, guys, Saul, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I used 21st Dev for that. Yeah, XLI, how's it going? Yeah, time to grind, guys. I've been up since 5 a.m. this morning on a Saturday. Last night, went to bed early, woke up early, been grinding all day. I have a actually really good video for you guys tomorrow. As you guys can see here, I actually, was working right before I started the stream. I was using Droid in GLM 4.6, and tomorrow, as you guys know, I won't be streaming because I'm going to be working on our marketing content. So on Monday for the mainstream launch, we'll have a really cool stream because I'm going to be able to share some of the marketing content that I created on Sunday. But tomorrow, in lieu of streaming, I actually created a video where I'm going to be vibe coding with GLM 4.6. So that's the setup for this video. But guys, I actually have somebody that I'd like to introduce you to, a new guest on the stream. It's been a while since we had a guest on the stream, but today we have a guest. I'd like to introduce you to him. Titan, come here. Titan, over here. Titan, over here. Come here. All right, come here. Come here. All right, this is a guest today. Titan, sit. Titan, sit. Sit. He's very tired. But guys, hold on, Titan. He's very tired. He's been napping. On the floor. But this is Titan. This is a guest. Everybody say hi to Titan. He's a very good dog. He's like 8 years old. I've had him since I was like 15. I think we need to give Titan a little. Come here, buddy. Come here, Titan. No, Titan, over here. Come here. But yeah, he's pretty cool. He's gonna be vibe coding with us today. Come here. Everybody see you. Yeah, everybody meet Titan. Sit. I call him Big T. He's a very good dog. Good boy. All right, go lay down. Lay down. No, over here. Come here. Go lay down. Yeah, he's gonna be vibing with us today. Go lay down, Titan. Good boy. But yeah, that's Big T. What do you guys think? You like Big T? King of Agario, welcome to the stream. Schweba, welcome to the stream. J35, welcome. Can you ping my Discord invite link message? Oh yeah, for sure. Thank you, J35. Appreciate it. I just pinned it. Hamza said, hey, always love the grind and coding vibes. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. King of Agario, welcome. Hello. Yeah, XLI, he is a good boy. Dane said, oh yes, today's gonna be a fun one. Yeah, so like I said, today we are gonna be working on our logging system. So obviously logs are one of the most important things when it comes to actually launching a product into production, because with logs, you know, essentially what you have is you have to take a look at like your custom logger. So right now I'll just show you guys essentially what we're dealing with in our logging system. So if I go to the ViewCreator API here, we'll kind of take a look. I think it's in source, common, and then logger. So right now we have this logging system. There's a couple different things when it comes to a logging system. So you have your custom logger service. You essentially have your global exception filter. You have your logging interceptor, and then you actually have your config. So something that I've noticed is that the logging system that we currently have implemented is not that good. So this stream, for the next couple hours, we're really going to be taking a look at our logging system. We're also going to make a couple UI changes, just like on the agents page. This UI doesn't look good, so we're going to use 21st Dev to find a new animation component. You know, like I get a lot of questions about how, you know, I created this animation and people really like it, and I'm going to try and create something similar to what I did on the hero section of the home page with the actual agent page. Yeah, you thought you'd see NS today? Yeah, not today. I think NS is coming soon. King of Agario said, hello, Titan. Nice to meet you. Hey, Titan, you hear that? King of Agario vibe codes with his cat Cobalt. Dynamic Adam said, Big T gonna be a superstar. Yeah, he does look like a Titan, doesn't he? Tony, how's it going? Welcome back to the stream. XLI said that he uses Clerk for auth and don't think about it. I probably should rethink some things. So excited to see how you handle it. Yeah, so we're gonna take a look at this. Obviously, you know, this is a pretty big deal. You know, when you're talking about you know, launching your product to production, you want to make sure that you have a good feedback mechanism. So something that we're going to be thinking about is, okay, like right now, obviously we're using CloudWatch, which is the native logging system with AWS. So it's actually very easy, because essentially what you're able to do is you're able to easily integrate like any logging system that you configure with AWS. Like let's say I have an ECS service, right? The ECS service, I can easily just click like turn on CloudWatch, and it's going to stream all the logs that come off of the of that service directly to CloudWatch, which is nice. But the problem is CloudWatch doesn't have like great out-of-the-box configurations. You really have to work with it. And what I found is that after dealing with, you know, some of our logs, like right now, I don't have a huge insight into the errors that we have. So let's just start a conversation with ChatGPT here and start thinking about the best way to do logs. And I'll just ask Chat a question like, do any of you, like, what do you guys use for logs when you're working on your projects? Because that's obviously something next week is that, you know, is with that. So we're going to take a look at this. Currently, I am using CloudWatch for the logging system in my application. But what are some other options, and what would be some better options, and why? Please rank them. What would be the best option and why? I mean, really what would be nice, and this is something that I thought about, is it would be great if you had essentially a logging system where it logged everything directly to like an S3 bucket or something like that. Like I just saw that basically Dynamic Adam said he uses InfluxDB with S3 storage for his logging. Dan says that PostHog is a great hybrid product. Hung said, will you be off stream tomorrow? Yeah, so tomorrow, like I said, like I mentioned, essentially I'll be off stream tomorrow so I can make all the marketing videos, but I actually did create this is actually a really cool video for you guys. The title of it's going to be Vibe Coding with GLM 4.6. As you guys know, GLM 4.6 is actually a really good new model. You guys can even see like some of my work that I did on this video behind me. I was working on these terminals here. These are all Droid terminals with GLM 4.6. So that video is going to be out tomorrow around, probably around like 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So same time that I usually stream. It'll be a premiere. So if you guys could support that, that would be great. Dynamic Adam said he has a quick local panel to view the logs. Tony said he usually plugs in PostHogs and Sentry. They catch most of the production errors for me to fix. That's all I need. Okay. So this is saying Datadog. I'm familiar with Datadog. It rates at a 9.5 out of 10. Is PostHog even on here? So it says that the best overall is Datadog logs plus APM plus rum. Instrumented by open telemetry, so you're not locked in. So why? It's fastest time to value, excellent ECS Fargate integration, one place to jump from a user session, front end error, back end trace, the exact log lines, informametrics. Okay. I mean, we're probably going to use Datadog, if I'm being honest, guys. We're probably going to use Datadog. But something that we're going to have to do is not only we're going to have to integrate Datadog, but we're also going to have to change our actual code for the logging configuration. Like right now, if you guys see the logger, these files are all related to our loggers. We even have a logger module that we import into all of our upper modules. So, this is pretty, pretty integrated system. So we're going to do some refactoring today on this. Dan is saying that the post-hog free plan is strong. InfluxDB is a time series database, so very good for logging. Almost all my logs exist in it, and it has great production-ready performance. Influx 3 recently came out. Check it out if it fancies you. Okay, InfluxDB. I've definitely heard of InfluxDB, but I've never used it. So something that and this is like something whenever you guys are choosing different platforms to use, something that's smart is, hey, you have to do what you're used to and what you're familiar with. So that's something that definitely plays a part. Like, I know that Datadog is pretty much one of the best logging systems that there is. ChatGPT ranks at #1, Dan says that the UX of PostHog is nice. Natural language queries for issues plus session replays. Tony says Datadog is low-key overrated, but each their own. Okay, that's good to know. If you guys are also just tuning in, make sure that you like and subscribe. We're going to be going for a couple hours today. Want to make sure that the stream pops off, and by you guys supporting that way, it actually does really help. So make sure you do that if you haven't already. Hung said PostHog is actually also the best analytics tool right now. Use that for MKT. You won't regret it. Okay, so let's actually ask about PostHog. What about PostHog? Because I've seen a lot of you guys talking about that, this PostHog. So let's see what it thinks of that. SD, yes, the app is deployed. It's at ViewCreator.ai. Tony said Datadog is super popular, so he's not shocked that they rate it high. Dane Strange said 14-hour stream. Nah, no 14-hour stream tonight, guys. All right. So short answer, PostHog is awesome, but not as a CloudWatch replacement. It's a products, analytics, plus session replay, plus feature flags experience platform. It complements your log stack rather than replaces it. So another option that we also could do is, instead of even transitioning off of CloudWatch, maybe we could just figure out how to improve our CloudWatch. Like maybe the problem is in this is a question for chat too, is, for example, we have CloudWatch integrated, but right now there's no way for let's say I have a bunch of errors. There's no way for those errors to actually tell me. Like, I actually have to open up CloudWatch, and I'll even show you guys what it looks like. So let me log into my AWS account real quick, and I'll show you guys essentially some screenshots of what I see on the back end when it comes to dealing with CloudWatch, because it's not great. So maybe, I'll share this with you guys, and you guys can add your input, because I'm trying to think through, hey, what actually is the best way to do this? Because I don't know if actually transitioning to Datadog, 3 or 4 days out from mainstream launch is really that great of an idea, because that could end up creating issues by itself. So, we have all of our infrastructure in AWS. So I think that it is it would be wise to say, hey, is it really smart to transition, part of that infrastructure off of AWS? CloudWatch is such a native AWS feature, would it be actually wise to get it off? And I don't know if it would be, right? It's like, hey, that ends up creating more work for you. So let me show you guys the dashboard that I see, and we'll just talk about this a little bit. So, for example, I'm not going to expose any ARNs or whatnot, but let me just show you guys the screenshot. So, for example, this is what I see in my AWS account, what I'm looking at right now, without any of the sensitive information exposed. But here are my log streams. Right now I've got 51 log streams, and honestly, a lot of these log streams, what's coming off of it right now are just a bunch of, oh, interesting. Okay. All right, 1 second, guys. Yeah, I've just got like basically, like I'll just show you guys this. Right now I've just got all this garbage from script kiddies, getting hit with a bunch of script kiddies, for example. So this is what they're doing, a bunch of garbage, pretty much. So this is what I see, and I actually have to open up like each of these log groups, so it's not that great. Dane, that's funny. Dan said, I think adding posthog is a lightweight experiment versus fully replacing. Okay. Dynamic Adam said, how about a quick script that monitors CloudWatch, and if there are errors, it would just bump them to the Discord channel. That's actually, I probably wouldn't have them bump them to the Discord channel, just because, hey, I don't want logs being, bumped to Discord. But, that actually brings up a really good point because, what we did at Bright Choice, as you guys know, at Bright Choice, we had it all going to Slack. So essentially when there were errors in the application, it would all go to Slack. And that brings up another question, is that as soon as I start hiring more engineers, I do want a Slack channel, and I want to be able to essentially have people that are hired on to BridgeMind, whether it ends up most likely being more vibe coders or other more experienced engineers than myself. We're going to need to essentially have a Slack channel. So maybe the best thing to do, as I mentioned earlier, like, hey, when it comes to setting things up like this, it really does matter. It has a lot to do with like, hey, what you are familiar with. So what's right for some person is not what's right for another person. And I have a lot of familiarity with the stack that we used at Bright Choice. And the stack that we used at Bright Choice is we had errors being essentially in AWS, and I'll even show you guys this because you can actually see it here. So check this out. So, and also it actually looks like there's some new features here. So check this out. So here is the options in like the sidebar in AWS CloudWatch, and it looks like this is actually pretty cool. So it says, look at this. So alarms, first of all, I'm going to open up alarms. So I have no alarms, but what alarms are is alarms, you can set it up so that essentially if there are a certain, something that's happening in Winston, whether it's a warn or whether it's an error or whether it's, an info, whatever you want to have, then you can set off an alarm so that it would then stream to the Slack server. And I actually set that up at Bright Choice, and it's fairly simple. Like we could do that today. Like what if we did, like I said, I'm not going to do to the Discord server just because I can't have, sensitive logs and information about our application being sent to Discord. So I want to do it to Slack. And then once I hire more engineers, those engineers would be able to monitor that channel as well. So I think the best thing to do would be to potentially set up Slack right now for BridgeMind, and then to stream the logs from ViewCreator to a specific Slack channel that obviously for now only I would manage. But eventually once more engineers are hired on, other engineers would easily be able to monitor that as well. J35 said, Matt, are you still taking bug inputs on Discord if I find some? Yeah, J35, absolutely. If you find any, please let me know. Tony said, Sentry could complement CloudWatch. It's usually the smoothest fit. Okay, let's look that up. So Tony said Sentry. I've never used Sentry. Let's see this. So application performance monitoring. Sentry for application performance monitoring. Directly connect bottlenecks to the specific errors, transactions, and down to the code level details causing the issue. With Sentry's APM, you can quickly pinpoint the real user impact, fixing issues faster and spending more time building. So pinpoint slow database queries and API calls. So here's like a video here. Check this out. So I've never used this personally. So here, let's get this out of the way. Sorry guys, hold up. Oh. Interesting. I mean, what do you guys think? King of Agario said, how about each error goes in Jira, a bug ticket is created, and then Jira is linked with Slack that triggers a message on Slack. I would suggest you also integrate a project management system to track the progress. Those are good ideas. Dynamic Adam said a private Discord channel is not actually a bad idea, but I understand the concern. But yeah, if you want to bump errors over to a more monitorable thing, should just work. I mean, we could do a Discord channel as well. But I'm at the point where I think I'm very close to the point where I'm ready to start bringing some people on to the team, because I've got a lot on my plate. I don't think that the revenue is where it needs to be yet. I think it will be also once we get more capital into the company. We're going to start to be able to bring more people on, not for like crazy amounts of money, but I think people that are passionate about, you know, what we're doing at BridgeMind and are willing to, you know, work hard and want to make an impact are going to be able to be hired on. Not sure when that's going to be, but I know that it's going to be coming. It's on definitely in the horizon. But so that, you know, that is one thing. Like maybe we end up doing a Discord channel or Slack. But for now, I feel like let's CD out of these Droid. I was using this for the video that's going to be coming out tomorrow. But let's just get out of here and let's actually just do a quick review of essentially. Let's use Codex. And wait, what's going on here? You're running Codex, yes. Not for version controlled? Come on. Of course I want Codex to make all updates. All right, so let's switch it to high. So I'm gonna do an in-depth review of the existing logging system in the API. So it obviously uses Winston. Tony said they have an MCP. You don't have to use the dashboard. MCP can handle it all. But so Tony, I have a question for you. So with you know, with Sentry, like help me. Just maybe you could describe like why do you like Sentry? Bill Alora said, have you checked the website for security? Yeah, I mean, we're doing security stuff as we go. You know, we've covered a couple patches that we found over the past week. And we've used like TestSprite and stuff to find security vulnerabilities. All right. Sweba said you could probably use NAN for those automations. No. Yeah, I always use, actually, Abhishek, I don't even just read YouTube comments. I actually try and respond to all my YouTube comments usually. Like if I get a notification about a YouTube comment, I'll usually respond to it. Okay, Hung said, should I choose Cursor IDE or Codex CLI or Droid CLI? I want the models to access different repos and moving the files around. I watched your video, but still want to ask for some thoughts here too. Yeah, so I mean, I am mainly still on like Codex and Cursor. Cursor I think is a necessity for like working really fast. Like for example here, that Cheetah model, by the way, Tony actually recommended that we use Cheetah. We were using it at the end of yesterday's stream. This Cheetah model is super, super fast. It's actually incredible. Let's use 4.5 Sonnet here. And I actually think that we now have, look at it, it says this model can be very expensive. Literally gives you a warning. It's like you are about to get absolutely obliterated on the cost. So let's just drop this in, drop the whole API in, and have it, because the thing here is like, Cursor just has a better user interface for me to be able to like understand like what's going on. So let's just zoom in here a little bit. So comprehensive review of the logging system. We're gonna have Codex and Claude 4.5 do that, so we can kind of install, like, see like, hey, where are we at right now? Thanks, XLI. Yeah, J35. Yeah, King. Tony said, just do approvals. Then you have to get full access, otherwise the bodies. Wait, what are you talking about? Do you mean with what? With like, what are you talking about exactly, Tony? Also, if you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Schweba said, not sure if you did it already, but have you plan on making a video on how to set up your cursor since you are using CLI? I'll do that right now, you know, with a lot of on our plate for the launch. You know, like I said, it's like right now, you know, I don't feel like I'm not necessarily a content creator. Like I need to actually build the company up to a point where, you know, we have revenue streams coming in, and I think I'll be able to do that. You know, something that I'm going to be doing is the BridgeMind.ai website. Believe it or not, it has close to 1,000 website visitors a week. So if you guys have been to BridgeMind.ai, Speaking of which, looks like that's still... Wait, are we on like a different branch or something? Let me... Hold on, guys. I need to evaluate something real quick on my end. Okay, open folder. Okay, I'll worry about that later. I don't want to have too many things going on at once. Okay, so the existing architecture of the logging system, so it's a Winston logger version 3.17 with Nest Winston, transient scope logger implementing NestJS logger service, global interceptor for HTTP requests, global exception filters, request context service, async strengths. All right, comprehensive redaction for sensitive fields, default sensitive keys over common scenarios, header sanitization in HTTP interceptor, validation, error redaction, main.ts. Okay. All right, so the issues and concerns, specialized methods are unused. Okay. 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 Okay, so there's no log streaming. So, man, I don't know, guys. Let me know your thoughts. I'm gonna grab some water real quick. But you know, take a look at some of the evaluations here, and oh geez, looks like we have some issues as well. So take a look at that, guys. I'll be right back. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I also grabbed an apple. Lotfi, welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. Tony, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So right now, essentially how I have this set up is I don't have the logs streaming because essentially I'm running this in ECS and I have the ECS service connected to CloudWatch. So it's like basically going to CloudWatch from there. Help me think through what would actually be the best option if I wanted to change this. Like what would be the best option as we ship to our mainstream launch to improve this logging system and actually make it so that as the developer, I'm easily able to see logs and be able to see errors in the application. Like right now, you know, I can like hardly see errors because it's not really streaming anywhere except like actually combing through CloudWatch log streams. So what is the best practice here? What do you recommend that I do? Okay. All right, Tony, number one. Tony, it said Sentry for errors, implement now, highest return on investment. All right, Tony's getting modded. Tony, you didn't ask for it, but I just gave you a standard moderator. Okay, Tony, I'll check out DMs. If you guys are watching and haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Message requests. All right. I don't see anything from you, Tony. I don't see any requests or anything. Okay, so essentially it says, yeah, Tony said, all good, got some experience with this, especially when you know people that run 1 million plus visitors on a month websites. Yeah, so let's, looks like we're gonna do Sentry. Stack traces with source maps, release tracking. Okay. So what are you guys' thoughts? Like, so we're gonna integrate Sentry. So let's just pull up the Trello board and we'll start breaking down like, hey, what are we actually gonna do here? Because this is gonna be like a pretty decent sprint that we're gonna do here. I think these are both done. Yeah. All right, so to do, so we're gonna integrate Sentry. And is Sentry, maybe somebody could help, is Sentry just for backend or is it for the front end as well? Because I saw like in the Sentry website, it had something about, like essentially it took long for like a page to load or something like that. So I guess it could be potentially, you know, front end as well. I mean, the nice thing is that since we're using AWS, like one thing to note is that because we're using AWS, we can use Cursor and use the AWS CLI so that Cursor can actually set up all of these. Like here, look at what it says. It said tier 2, the recommendation for tier, wait, so it's tier 1 is to set up Sentry, and then tier 2 is to improve the CloudWatch usage. So it essentially, like, we could actually have Cursor set up our AWS infrastructure for us in terms of improving the logs that way. Tony said it catches front end as well. Okay. Hung, I set up MCPs with both. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we set up Sentry on both the front end and the back end. Integrate Sentry on both front end and back end. Because guys, like something that's really important is if you want to succeed with your product and you don't want users to basically drop off because you're having a bunch of problems, we're going to need to have insights. It goes back to what I said at the very start of the stream. When I worked at Bright Choice, I worked with a mentor and he was a very skilled CTO, you know, over 30 years of experience as a developer. And, you know, I would have conversations with him and he would say, listen, like, you want to get your product off the ground, all right? You want to get this shipped. It's okay if it has errors. It's going to have errors. Like, that's okay. Just really think through your logging system and fix the issues that you have. So, I just want to share that with you guys because, hey, that's, something that is important. Oren, how's it going? Welcome back to the stream. Oren was super helpful yesterday, so he got modded. Also, Tony just got modded because he's been super helpful as well. He said it can monitor both sides. You can drop its SDK into browser, React Next apps for client-side errors, instrument, Node, Python, Go, etc. on the back end. Okay. All right. Thank you, Tony. So we'll integrate Sentry on both the front end and the back end. And then tier 2 is to actually improve the CloudWatch usage. So we're going to do this as well. And, with this, what's cool is that we will actually be able to do this using using Cursor integrated with the ViewCreator profile, AWS CLI. So I learned that you can use Cursor to update your AWS infrastructure, and it's actually very, very good. You can use a lot of described stacks. So we're gonna be able to create CloudWatch dashboards programmatically. And then here it said add Winston CloudWatch transport. So I think this is essentially where instead of having the file-based logging system, instead it streams, and I think that this is actually where we need to go, where we need to move to. Application. Okay, so it's saying add this post-launch. So that's saying like Datadog and stuff. Dougal, welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. XLI said love knowledge drops. Yeah. So Sentry is going to be important. Improving the CloudWatch usage using the Cursor integrated with ViewCreator profiles, AWS CLI. And then also the third that I recommended was to add Winston CloudWatch transport. So something I need to ask it. So help me understand. So I don't currently have CloudWatch transport. And so right now, how does the existing logging system work? Because obviously I have these CloudWatch, set up, but it's like essentially connected to the ECS service through toggling it in the ECS service. I'm not sure, essentially, like, should I keep this toggled or should I actually transition over to a completely new CloudWatch transport system where I have no file-based loggings, but instead it's transport-based? So do you guys see what I'm like trying to think through? Because right now I don't actually have like a logging system hooked up. Like I have logging, but it's file-based logging. So like the same logs that I get here with like all the warns and all this stuff here, that's the same, the same system. And actually that's in the Bridgemine API. So let's get out of there and let's get to the ViewCreator. ViewCreator. ViewCreator API. Okay, so it says advantages of, so it said what you should do. Keep your current setup. Your current setup is exactly what you should have. Here's why. Advantages of your current setup: ECS, AWS logs, simplicity, no AWS SDK configuration needed, reliability, logs work even if SDK fails or credentials are wrong. This is how 95% of containerized apps do logging. Okay, so this is a standard practice. Okay, that's good to know. No code changes. It works out of the box. Container friendly. Follow 12 app factor principles. Cost effective, no additional API calls or transport overhead, automatic rotation. ECS handles everything. Okay, so basically what it's saying is that our current implementation is actually pretty good and we don't want to change it a ton. So let's keep doing that then. It says, why not use Winston CloudWatch transport? Redundant, you'd be sending logs twice. Requires IAM permissions, SDA configuration, single point of failure. If AWS API is down, you lose logs. It's going to affect performance and it's going to add cost. Okay, that's good to know. Okay. Wait, I pinged you twice on the server. Oh, wait, let me see. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, I didn't know that was you. Okay, so we're not going to do that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do integrate Sentry on both front end and the back end, and then we're going to improve CloudWatch usage using Cursor, integrated with ViewCreator profile AWS CLI. So this is going to be doing things like creating alerts, creating creating dashboards for us to see. That will be a significant improvement instead of just there being like essentially log streams to dig through. And then the last thing that we need to do is actually investigate and review the existing system and identify ways to improve it and make sure that all aspects of the application are covered, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of missing logs essentially. So there's modules that are essentially missing our logic. So let's move all these to actually, no, let's wait. So let's move over to Codex real quick. And Dougal, I can't do 6 hours today. We're gonna be streaming for a while today, but I can't do 6 hours. I got plans later, unfortunately. All right, so integrate Sentry on both front end and back end. Okay. Okay, so let's open up ChatGPT and just start doing this one at a time. Like, okay, and I'm gonna use Cursor for this because Cursor, I just like the UI. Like when we're working on stuff like this, I like to use Cursor because, you know, essentially the UI of Cursor is just more readable than the CLI UI. So integrate Sentry on both front and back end. Review the okay. So I'm gonna say review the application. Help me think the best to do to integrate Sentry. Let's split this into two separate tasks, one for the back-end Sentry integration and another for the front-end Sentry integration. Create two .md files that plan out this in-depth review. We won't be coding, just planning. And whatever you put in the MD files, I will be passing to another AI assistant. And then guys, as you guys know, there is a new Cursor plan mode, and we're actually going to do this. We're going to create detailed plans for accomplishing tasks. So we're going to use this plan mode. Tony, we're literally thinking the exact same. Tony is an OG. Tony said use the plan feature for this one. Yeah. Nacho Gonzalez, good morning. How's it going? Welcome back to the stream, everyone. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. I see we have 46 watchers, and we've only got 13 likes. So come on, guys. If you haven't already liked the stream, make sure you do so. All right, so back-end integration plan. Also, we're gonna need to simplify this a little bit. Let's drop some of these chats, just so we don't have so much going on. Let's hide Codex, and then let's just open up two new chats here. So this is going to spit out two MD files for a Sentry backend integration plan and then a Sentry frontend integration plan. And while it's doing that, let's actually set up a Sentry account. So let's go over to Sentry, get started. Let's actually check out pricing real quick. So pricing, team, $26 a month, unlimited users, third-party integrations, 20 custom dashboards. All right, so that's nothing. 20. Okay, but let's let's just get started with team. All right, give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna set up the account. So that is still planning there. All right, so it says install Sentry. All right, here's what we're dealing with. So select the platform that you want to monitor. So let's try Next. Okay. So let's just kind of get some documentation here. Let's just screenshot all this. Oh shit. All right. That was nice. Yeah, Oren. So we're gonna update that page for sure. All right, let's see. Yes, you can delete a project. It's time to go to project, your project, or general settings. Okay, so projects. Okay, sorry guys, I'm locked in right now. Hold on. All right, projects. Go to settings. And then I can remove that project because essentially I just exposed like security tokens and stuff related to that project. So I just wanted to delete that project so I didn't have to deal with that. Tony, I see what you're saying, but I'm gonna get started with the business plan. I mean, we have business expenses and stuff, so we're good. Douglas said, have you implemented PostHog and why do you even need Sentry? So we're not gonna do PostHog, we're gonna do Sentry, and then we're gonna improve our CloudWatch integration. So just for reference here, if I pull up our Trello board, essentially what we have here, I'm gonna zoom in, is we're gonna integrate Sentry on both the front end and the back end. Cursor recommended that we do this. So shout out to Tony as well because Tony was on that. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna improve the CloudWatch usage using Cursor integrated with the ViewCreator profile AWS CLI. So essentially what we can do is in CloudWatch, like CloudWatch out of the box is not very powerful. You have to create alarms and you have to create logs and you have to create dashboards and you have to create systems inside of CloudWatch to be able to actually have like a really good CloudWatch system. So knowing this, what's nice is that because we're using CloudWatch, we can actually use Cursor to access AWS through the CLI and be able to set all of this up for us. So essentially, we'll be able to use AI to set this up, whereas if we were using Datadog, we would not be able to do the same thing with Datadog because I don't think that Datadog, or at least I don't know if Datadog has its own CLI system that we could do something similar where we could essentially set up configurations on Datadog using Cursor, for example. But I know for a fact that we can do that with Cursor. So that's what we're going to do with Cursor is we're actually going to keep our CloudWatch configuration the way it is, but we're going to take it to the next level as right now we're just using essentially out of the box, logging systems, but we're going to improve that. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Let's do a quick sub check, see where we're at. All right, we're at 4,686. You guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. All right, so let's check out this backend integration plan. So pretty large, about 1,600. So let's take this into a new chat. Let's pass this in and let's do plan. And then let's drop in. And what's nice is now that our Cursor plan, or Ultra plan is reset, what's nice is that we're no longer being billed for that usage. So let me actually just double check that that's accurate, because the reason I'm using cursor a bunch right now is because I'm pretty sure we're covered. All right. I guess it already integrated a plan for this. All right, so we go to the front end plan now, drop that in a new chat, and then we'll drop in the front end here. Or actually, we should probably use Codex for this, shouldn't we? So I'm going to CD into ViewCreator API. And now I'm going to say launch Codex. And then can we add specific files? Wait, why is that not already saved? Oh, that's not actually in that directory. All right, so I have to move this. All right, Sentry backend implementation. We're gonna actually move that into the API here. All right, Sentry backend integration plan. View the plan in depth, and then integrate Sentry into the project as planned, step by step. All right, so that's gonna be running. And I think that's the best move to use Codex for this, just because this is gonna be running for like a really long time. And I just did happen to check cursor, and it says that my cursor plan, it does reset today. But the only issue is that I don't know if it resets today in terms of like they're gonna, because I saw that I was still getting billed based on usage. So that was one thing that I just wanted to check, and I saw that I was. So I don't want to get absolutely taxed by cursor, because they do love taxing. So let's now put that in there, and then here, let's go out here and let's do a CD into ViewCreator, and then an extra CD into the ViewCreator UI, so that this Codex agent is only going to be working in the UI. Launch Codex, and then now let's work on, let's add the Sentry front-end integration plan, and then I'm actually just going to do the same thing there. I'm going to say review the plan step by step, and then integrate Sentry. Okay, so chat, Nacho said, what is Sentry for? So Sentry is essentially going to allow us to have better user interface and better feedback into what's going on with the user experience. So for example, if we go to the Sentry website here, so it's application performance monitoring, so you can look at that. Tony said you had to let it make the MD itself, so you paste that text in plan mode and it makes plan file itself. Then you have a button in the MD file to execute it. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, too late now, I guess. King of Agario said, I just had an issue that Claude Max couldn't fix. Then I had Codex to take it, and initially Codex failed. I gave it a second time and it fixed the issue. That's awesome. All right, so these two agents back-end Sentry integration, front-end Sentry integration. So if we go back to our Trello board here, this is now in progress. And let's actually integrate Sentry in back-end, and then integrate Sentry in front-end. We're going to split that into two, and then we're going to change this one to set up Sentry account. We're going to have that be a step to do. So also improve the CloudWatch usage. So that's also something that's going to be super important. And that I can't share a ton. KG Tachi said, is Sonnet 4.5 the best right now? Sonnet 4.5 is pretty good, but also GPT-5 Codex is really good. Yes. Don't ask again. Andre said, hi, I'm new here. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to fully vibe code the application, or do you have some knowledge in software engineering? Yeah, so it's, you know, it's true yes to both of your questions. So I've been a software engineer for, since I was a teenager, but more recently, like for the past 3 years, full-time software engineer. And then I vibe code now at the point, like, really, if you're coding line by line now, I mean, I don't even know if anybody is actually doing that anymore. I don't think, I mean, if you're still coding line by line, I don't even know if there's anybody doing that anymore, to be honest. Yeah. Okay. So the next thing that we need to do is actually investigate and review the existing system and improve. Okay. Okay. So let's go here. You are my expert prompt engineering assistant, and I need you to improve the prompt above based on the fact that I need help in improving the existing logging system. Right now, there is a lot of services missing logging, and the logging system needs to be improved so that we have a cohesive system in CloudWatch. I am going to continue using the existing system that I told you about, which is using ECS and CloudWatch as it's already hooked up. So please note that I'm going to continue using that, and I'm not going to set up the log transport system that we discussed. But please improve this prompt that I will pass into another AI assistant that will then create a plan. All right, if you guys are watching and haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Right now I'm kind of locked in, but we're really trying to improve our logging system here, guys. King of Agario said, if you learn system design and engineering, then you're in the game. King of Agario said, coding is obsolete. And that comes from a software engineer that's been coding for over 30 years, and who I can obviously tell has a ton of experience just from you know, those conversations that we've had, obviously, with King of Agario. So that actually is Tony said, if you're coding line by line, just quit. No, the code, it's not Shopify. Schweba said, AI is just getting better and better at writing decent code. Better get on board now before you get left behind 5 years from now. That is so true. And it's crazy because at this point, it's to the point where the technology is so strong that you can't really, like, people that argue against it just honestly look like idiots. And you know, I saw a friend of mine from college yesterday. I was at the gym, and a friend of mine from college, he you know, he's since graduated, and he works in, like, basically he's trying to get his CPA right now, right? So this buddy of mine, he was essentially telling me about how AI is a huge bubble and that the market is going to crash. And he was, you know, basically just telling me that he was like doing a lot of research, and that, you know, AI is it's a huge bubble, and that, like, he was telling me that the technology is good, but like long term, and that, like, it's not actually that good right now, and that you know, it's a bubble essentially. And I just kind of like, I was like, you know, just being, you know, accepting of his opinion. And then I did not share my opinion, because sometimes when people have really strong opinions, you just let them have their strong opinion. And sometimes it's better to keep things to yourself, guys. Like, just something that I live by is that you know, sometimes you don't need to share your opinion, you know? Sometimes it's better to just let other people have their opinion and to keep yours to yourself. Because what was I supposed to do? Tell them, oh no, like you don't understand, man. Like, you know, it's changing the way that, you know, that software engineers are working, and it's like gonna, you know, I don't know. I'm not gonna argue with it, you know, but it is just interesting because I hear that and I'm like, just kind of interesting. All right, so here's the prompt that it gave us. So let's actually now, I'm gonna use plan for this. So let's use plan. So we're gonna use plan for this one. How's it going, Madi? Welcome to the stream. Andre said, interesting, I'm actually that guy who codes mostly line by line with some macro to generate code. I use AI to generate some tests, mock data, and some easy code. Yeah, I mean, I just, I think there's no going back, especially as it continues to get better. Tony said AI is too far to stop. King of Agario said AI is not in the bubble. The people who are telling it's in the bubble are in it. I mean, yeah, it's like, hey, if I was like getting my CPA in like working for corporate finance, I would probably be saying the same thing. You know, I'd probably be saying something like that and saying, you know, talking about how, you know, there's a huge bubble and like that AI, you can't use it. But I'd rather be somebody like, and I've shared this before, my opinion on it is that you shouldn't even have an opinion on like what the future holds. You should just try and maximize the tools that exist today. And the tools that exist today are to the point where they're good enough that you can actually do, oh my gosh, create the comprehensive 100 to 150 page implementation plan document. What? Okay, that's not gonna work. All right, let's not use cursor plan is like weird. Let's go back to the initial. Was this was the initial, a 100-page implementation plan? I did not ask for a 100-page implementation plan. I just wanted essentially a prompt that will have another AI then generate a plan. It doesn't need to be a 100-page implementation plan. It just needs to be a prompt engineered prompt that tells another AI to essentially review the project in depth, the project meaning the API, and review the existing logging system with Winston, and to share with the other AI how our existing logging system works, and then have the other AI come up with a plan on how we can actually take this to the next level. All right. Okay, so King of Agario said that he agrees. Tony said that ones that tell you it's bad or in a bubble are those that do not want you to progress. Anyone can talk the talk, but you are actually doing the work. Yeah, XLI, that's well said. Yeah. Tony said that he tells some people at college that I spent 300 euros a month on AI tools alone, and they will look at me like I fell from the tree. But I made 10x that in no time. Yeah. Keck, what do you want to clip? Tushar said scalable systems can be created by AI, or it hallucinates a lot right now. I think that scalable systems can be created with AI. You know, you're not going to create a scalable system like overnight. You know, if you go back, you know, it's taken us, I think we started working on, I mean, we could go back. I started working on ViewCreator on day 20 of this series. So it's been like about a month that we started working on ViewCreator. So in a month, I was able to build a pretty scalable product in ViewCreator with AI systems. And obviously, you know, you guys can go back and watch through everything. You know, I documented all of it. So King of Agario said that he created 5 projects in past 6 weeks using AI. I've sped up being productive since adapting Claude Max and Codex. I'm also using Gemini Pro. Yeah, King of Agario, from what I can tell, you've got a pretty good system with what you shared with me about the worker and the agent. I'd love to figure out how you do that. It sounds really interesting. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is actually pretty good. Yeah, Grok. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Andre says that he feels like there's a lot of bubbly things happening with AI. Surely they are truly impressive things like Claude and other AI, but so many companies are hyping on AI and perform very poorly. Yeah, I mean, so something that I'll share with you guys is, and I was thinking about this morning. So I basically had to check something health-wise, right? And I literally just took a picture of what I was dealing with, and I uploaded it to ChatGPT Pro, and I essentially said hey, what is this? And should I be worried about it? What do you think this is? And ChatGPT was able to diagnose my health problem and then give me the products to order on Amazon that were going to fix it, because I essentially just have like an athlete's foot type thing, and I didn't know what it was, so I took a picture of it, and I would have had to go to a doctor's office to figure out what it was, to then figure out what to get, and AI did it for me. And I guess people can say that, that's bubbly or whatnot, is that but hey, I didn't have to go to the doctor. I'm not worried anymore. I already ordered the product that's going to help me basically fix the problem. And, I'm like, hey, there's going to be so many use cases like that. Zuhaib, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Hung said, no way Cheetah is a Grok model, most likely Gemini 3.0. If Cheetah is Gemini 3.0, I mean, it is insanely fast. Absolutely insanely fast model. What's good, Zuhaib? If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Again, next week is our mainstream launch for ViewCreator. So essentially what we're doing right now is we're improving we're integrating, I'll just pull up our Trello board so anybody that doesn't know what we're working on knows. So right now in progress, we're integrating Sentry in the back end and then integrating Sentry in the front end. So right now, this is running in this terminal, and then this is running here in this terminal. And then the next thing we need to do is we need to set up the Sentry account, and then we need to improve the CloudWatch usage using ViewCreator or Cursor integrated with ViewCreator profile AWS CLI. But actually what we're doing right now is this here, which is actually integrating our logging system. So we're creating a lot of MD files to actually plan through that. And then once we finish that, we'll pass that to another Codex window that'll work on it for probably a while, because these have both been working for 15 minutes and 13 minutes. So, how I decide whether to pass something into Cursor or Codex is that Codex is able to have essentially longer conversations with itself and be able to implement a lot more. It actually looks like this one's done here, and it literally is telling me which environment variables I need. Next, public Sentry, Sentry auth token, Sentry org, and Sentry project. Okay, exercise Sentry test. All right. Okay, so these are both finishing. Okay, so I'm gonna have to populate the secret credentials in GitHub, it looks like. So I'll have a conversation to figure out what I actually need to do there. Yeah, Cheetah's in Cursor right now, and it is super, super fast and pretty good. It's lightning fast, and it was very smart. Like yesterday, I was having it update some stuff with our tools pages, and it was pretty good. Tushar said, as you are building, were you facing a lot of issues from coding to deployment using AI? I mean, no, not nothing out of the ordinary, right? So I think it was last week we went from just developing locally to actually deploying it to AWS and getting it up in the cloud. I mean, there are a couple things, but nothing that was bad. It was just normal, hey, this is different, running locally than here, and then I fixed it. Okay, so current state has 30% coverage. So we're now going to go into this, and it's in the, if we cd into, actually we have to get out of BridgeMind. So cd out of there and cd into ViewCreator, and then cd into the ViewCreator API. And then we're gonna launch Codex. And then also we're going to make sure that this logging implementation plan is actually over here in the API, so we can pass it in. Keep going. Here it is. All right, drop it in there. And then here, so we're going to be able to @logging implementation plan here. Okay. All right, so now what we need to do is while that's running, let's take a look. So we still have to set up the Sentry account. The next thing we do is we need to improve, here, let's expand this. So improve the CloudWatch usage. Because essentially, let me grab a screenshot real quick. So you can set up these dashboards. So here, I'll take a screenshot. You guys see what I'm looking at in AWS. So in CloudWatch, you can set up these dashboards, and with dashboards, it essentially gives you a better view instead of just going into like log groups and looking at specific log streams to find errors. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a custom dashboard, but then what we're also going to do is we're then going to integrate better alarms so that, you know, we have alarms, we have dashboards, then we have Sentry, and then we're also improving the actual logging. So let's just do this one at a time. So I'm going to improve CloudWatch setup by creating a comprehensive dashboard. I need you to create the MD file for the plan for executing this. The other AI assistant will be using the AWS CLI to implement its changes using the ViewCreator profile. Okay, so we're going to pass this in here. And what we're going to do is we are going to pass this in here. And then I'm going over to our log groups here, and I'm going to screenshot the prod ECS log group here, and we're going to create an MD plan based on that. And I'm actually going to hide this for a second just to make sure I don't expose like my AWS key. Okay, so set up Sentry account. We still need to do that. So let's just have a quick conversation here with Codex. So where will each of these env variables go? Please note that I am using GitHub and AWS Amplify. Tell me step by step what I need to do, as well as how I can get these env vars and what to do on Sentry to actually get these set up. All right, and then I'm actually going to say something similar. So where will each of these env variables go? Please note that I am using GitHub and ECS. Tell me step by step what I need to do to get this set up properly. All right, just gonna get that set up. This one is still working. I'm gonna take a couple questions from chat now that I'm at a good stopping point. Pankaj, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Andre said he also likes to write documentation with AI. King of Agario said if they find a single bit of negative, they drop the medication and start hating the doctor for being ineligible to post. Hung said, just make sure you don't outsource your thinking to LLMs because then you're one-shotted to the slop. Use them like laborers, you decide. Yeah, so Hung, that's a good point, but something to note is that, sometimes it's actually helpful to have the AI do all the planning for you. So like what I find is I know essentially what I want to do, right? Like I want to integrate Sentry into the back end, and I want to integrate Sentry into the front end. But I've never integrated Sentry before. I just learned about it an hour ago from Tony in the chat. So, you know, it's just something kind of interesting, you know? Okay, so if you prefer to expose the DSN directly and create another secrets, all right. All right, so I have to create a project. In the project, you go to client keys, get the DSN, and paste. You'll paste this into Amplify shortly. Create a release upload token. Your avatar using your settings, API, auth tokens, create new token, scopes, project read, project write, organization, shot their auth token. All right, so this setup is decently complex, guys. So I'm not gonna be like super distracted in chat, because this is actually, we're doing like quite a bit today. So I'm gonna like just really try and stay locked in. So in the AWS URL section, so add the following for each environment. So next public Sentry DSN, next public Sentry environment, next public Sentry traces sample rate, next public, okay. Mask all text. And if I build something automatically, next public various, you do not need to commit the. Oh, jeez. This part's a little bit complex. And it's only complex because I've never done that before. Okay. Ooh, rerun the GitHub Actions on feature branch. Confirm the Docker image builds. Upload source maps. Jeez. Problem is we don't use Docker on this. All right, looks like this one finished. So these are all done. So now I have to do a bunch of work. The issue is we are not using Docker in this project. Please note this. All right, so I just said the issue is that we are not using Docker in this project. Take note of this. Tell me exactly what we need to do. List out the EMVs that you added during this conversation as well, so I understand and explain what each of them is for. All right, so then over here, get your Sentry project, DSN, client keys. Geez, this is a decent amount of setup. Schwab, I did not find anybody editing. I think I'm not big enough yet. I think once you probably get to like 50,000, that'll start to be a possibility. But for example, I had some people approach me and they said, "Hey, we'll do editing for you, right?" And I was like, "Oh, awesome!" I was like, "I've got these demo videos that I want to create. How long would how much would it cost?" And they said, how much? How long are they? I said, "Oh, 2 minutes." And they said it's like literally $1,000 to edit a 2-minute video on YouTube. So I think the best thing is you just keep doing it ourselves for now. Mirakur, good morning. Use the OpenAI prompt optimizer. Well, I just essentially asked them, like, hey, how much would it cost to actually edit this, you know? And they just gave me a crazy high price. All right, guys, this is actually a pretty complicated setup. What I don't like about the Amplify or the Next.js one is that essentially we have these, I've never actually done this before, so we have next public variables, obviously, and anytime that you set something in a Next.js public with this, next public, that actually means that's going to be a public key, but the problem is that we don't just need public keys, we also are going to have private keys. And, Tony, yeah, I thought the same thing. All right. Okay. Yeah, Schweba, I essentially want that, and then also I need like a video editor just in general for all the marketing stuff that we're going to be doing. Like, for example, these marketing videos, like, hey, I'm going to have to build a team right now. The revenue isn't high enough. I think like the best way to do this is just to bootstrap it for a bit, right? You have to bootstrap it, get the revenue generated and flowing, and then as that starts to happen, you can bring more people onto the team. One of the biggest things that I need help with right now is I need help with like video editing for, yeah, like the content creation stuff. Because as you guys know, like I'm not a content creator by nature. So, and I don't want to be a content creator. I just want to, all I want to do is I want to do what I would normally be doing, but basically sharing it, you know? So like there is a big difference between like a content creator and then what I'm doing. I don't really feel like a content creator. I just feel like I'm doing what I normally would be doing, and I've got the camera turned on. And I'm like kind of talking to chat stuff, right? And sharing some tips and stuff that are genuine, right? Like content creators are people that sit down and they really plan out, okay, what am I gonna talk about? You know, they build like scripts. Like you guys can tell, I have no scripts. I have none of that. But yeah. All right, so it wants me to add these. Yeah, true, Tony. If anybody wants to volunteer, let me know. All right, so Sentry, DSN, Sentry enabled, Sentry traces sample rate, Sentry profile sample rate. Why are there so many? I was hoping that there'd be like one environment variable that we had to update. This is like overwhelming. What's up, Matt Shower? All right, so all right, guys, I'm gonna have to lock in here. All right, I think we just got to get started. We got it. Let's focus in on one. Let's focus in on the front end and just getting that set up with Sentry. I think that's the best thing to do. Yeah, Tony, that's what I'll do. So guys, I'm going to be setting this up, and I'm not going to be able to like engage and chat a ton. I'm sorry. but this is like actually pretty difficult. So I'm just gonna really lock in. I'll try and explain what I'm doing at every step of the way, but I can't be super engaged with chat today just because of that reason. But I'll do my best. Okay, so create project. You need at least one project to review. All right, so create project. Here is what I am looking at inside of Sentry. All right, guys, we're gonna create a Slack workspace as well. So I'm gonna create a Slack workspace. Get started. If you guys are watching right now and you aren't grinding, get to grinding because we're going to be absolutely grinding today. We actually might end up going for 6 hours. All right, guys, the glasses are going on. These are the Vive goggles. We are locked in. All right, I just got Slack Pro. We're gonna have to grow the Bridgemine team at some point. All right, so I just connected Sentry to Slack. So let's now open up Slack. I think I have the Slack app downloaded. All right, so I'm gonna have to download Slack here. All right, let's download. All right, also remember that we're also like improving the logs. So run, next steps, run targeted just suites for building. Okay, yes, continue. Okay, let's download Slack. Okay. Guys, you know what's crazy is that I don't take any days off. I don't take any days off. All right, so we're gonna create a new channel. And this channel will be called, this is gonna be Sentry, the Sentry UI channel. And essentially we'll connect this channel All right, and what did it say? It said, click the Next.js tile, set your alert frequency. If you want something closer to the integration plan, switch to when there are more of... Okay, I'm not sure yet about that, so I'll just use alert me on high priority issues. And then it says... all right, ViewCreator UI for the project slug. Team, BridgeMind, please select a platform, Next.js. All right, platform, that project is now created. All right, so now, all right, so, geez, Sentry is definitely a bit of a startup thing here. All right, CloudWatch setup plan. We do have that now. All right, so I'm gonna drop that into Cursor, which is gonna run the CloudWatch setup. So we're gonna create essentially, that dashboard as well. So, back to our Trello board. This is now in progress, right? Yeah, this is in progress. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing now. I'm gonna work with ChatGPT just because I hate working in the CLIs. The user interface is so bad. That's one drawback of the CLIs for sure. How's it going, Jose? Tony's got a 133-day streak. Let's go, man. Tony's a real one. Guys, we're all gonna make it. We're gonna make it, guys. Also, while I'm doing this, something that I want to do, I would really like to choose a new hero component for the agent's screen, the agent's background. So for example, ViewCreator.ai, agent's page, I hate that, looks terrible. The shaders usually look pretty good. This looks cool. All right, in Sentry, grab the 3 identifiers you need. Open your project settings and go to client keys. Tony, you did not warn me that this was... Honestly, guys, you learn something new every day, all right? All I gotta do, thank Tony for pushing me to my limit because, you know, I explained what we needed, and what we needed was to have better logic. Something I'm gonna do though is because I have to lock in so hard today in today's stream, I am gonna turn the music up a little bit so that you guys can all vibe along with me. Just because, you know, I'm not gonna be able to talk as much, so you might as well vibe out together, right? Usually I'm talking and I have the music low, but today we need to lock in, so I'm gonna turn the music up a little bit. I hope that's okay with everybody. Guys, the thing about life is that you find value and purpose in things that are challenging and painful. So if you're not doing things that are challenging and painful, you're not living life right. It takes sacrifice too. I have to sacrifice hanging out with friends, hanging out with girls that I could be hanging out with. I've decided to sacrifice all of it. And it'll pay off. I'm only 23, so I can't imagine what life's gonna look like when I'm 24. It's gonna be absolutely insane. Think about that. You only have to sacrifice a couple months. All right, so the step that I'm on, it says in Sentry, create an auth token for source maps. Let's see if that was able to integrate into the local host. I think I have to run the project real quick, though. Guys, I only have one environment variable that I still need. That was so easy. Oh, let's go! Come on! Let's go. I went to Sentry avatar user settings and I'm not seeing the API option. Please review what I am seeing and help me navigate correctly to get this token. Every step of the way, use AI to solve all your problems. Drop screenshots, have AI walk you through it. There's no longer any barrier that you cannot accomplish. Tell me what to input for each. why I chose admin. All right, it says that this is now done. So let's see if it was able. Oh, obviously, you need to see the end of ViewCreator UI. npm run dev. Let's see if that background was created. The error is that you didn't put it on the actual hero section, you put it on the agent's page. Make sure that this background is not for the agent's page, but only the agent's page hero section. If you guys are watching, you haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We're grinding today. I'm locked in, setting up Sentry and some complicated logging stuff. So I've got a lot coming at me. I've got a lot of private keys that I'm dealing with. So today is just a day to lock in and go to war, really. Got to move forward, guys. Seeing any animation in the hero section of agents. that is not an option. When I click actions, this is what I see. Still nothing here. I have now added all of this. Now, what is the next step? If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, right now we're working on Sentry. Let me check chat real quick. I just finished setting up the UI, so I'm going to come out of locked in mode here and see what you guys have been up to. See chat real quick. See what's going on. Watching, haven't already liked and subscribed. Right now we're working on web design. How's it going? Yeah, the animation. I just finished working at the UI, so I'm gonna come out of morning shoe. How's it going? Let's see what you guys have been up to. Mainly here for the musics and the vibe today because I'm pretty locked in. We got a lot of stuff to do with logging and configuration, so I've got a lot on my end that's like private and secret, so can't share it. But what is up with this not working? It is still not loading the animation. Review your approach in depth, review the screenshot, and think through why it is not loading in the animation, and identify what the root of the problem is, and then update the code respectively. Private and secret. So what is up with this not working? Also, something to check is you guys remember we had on our Trello board, one thing that we were focused on was this logic of having AI actually improve the dashboard for us. And I can see now that here it is. It said that it was able to create a dashboard. Let's now take a look at on our one thing that we were CloudWatch and see if it was able to create a dashboard for us. I'll take a screenshot of AI actually the dashboard for us, and I can see now better? Let me know in chat. Is it fixed? Let me know. Jose said it's fixed. Alright, 1 second, guys. I'm gonna go grab a glass of water real quick. I'll be right back. All right, there's the animation. That looks pretty sick. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Jose, nah, don't drop a link. You can drop it in Discord. All right. So here's something now that we actually have set up in ViewCreator. So check this out, guys. So this is what we just created. So this is a CloudWatch dashboard, and essentially what this is you can see that it created a dashboard for us to be able to see different parts of the ViewCreator API in production. So you can see here it counts the number of user signups, the number of slow operations or the operations that took over a second, the number of authentication failures, the number of credit transactions, the number of agent executions. So now we have a nice dashboard where we can see information that's going to be very important for us to use. Also, error count, last 3 hours, we'll be able to see that. HTTP request volume, HTTP request response time, errors and warnings, last errors, error count, warning count. So now, instead of having to comb through our CloudWatch log streams, we can just go to a dashboard and be able to know very quickly, kind of see what's happening. So that's actually very, very helpful. Tony said that the Prism animation is clean on React bits. I've been hearing a lot more about React bits. Spark Spectrum said, yo, is the ViewCreator website safe now? I heard, yeah, so we didn't have an XSS attack. We just had like some people that submitted like, you know, some JavaScript that it was like literally one person, and it wasn't, it was nothing. It was like, even the XSS that was submitted was not a big deal. But yeah, we did fix it. Okay. Jose, I'll check it. Robodex, how's it going? Welcome back to the stream. Long time no see. We've grown quite a bit over here. All right, I'll check the DMs. Oh, wow, Tony, I just checked your the link that you sent me as well. That's really interesting. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Okay, so that looks fine for now. I like the black. This looks good. This looks good. This looks good. Yeah. Okay, let me see what ChatGPT said about our setup now, at least for the UI and Sentry. So it said functional tests. Okay, so we actually need to deploy the UI and see if this is now running. Run npm run build in the ViewCreator UI and fix any build errors. So it looks like we can do like replays and tracings with Sentry. So I think this is going to give us a way better look into everything that's going on with our application for sure. AN said, can you tell me estimated time for AGI arriving in your opinion? I'm actually not sure. Yeah, I don't know. But what I do know is that in the past year, the game has changed completely. I mean, it's like, you know, when people talk about the AI being a bubble, the actual amount of tools that are now being built on top of AI is really incredible. Like, for example, Cursor with their agentic functionality, you know, that didn't even exist a year ago. And it's incredible how far it's come just in that short amount of time. Is that now, you know, coding, like I've mentioned this before, you know, what vibe coding used to be is you used to use ChatGPT and you'd have a ChatGPT window open, and then you would have, you know, your editor open, and then you'd have, you know, maybe your actual website or whatever you were working on running, and you'd be able to paste in your code and then, you know, paste it in the editor, wait for ChatGPT to respond, and then, you know, test it all out, right? And now the agents just do all that for you. So you just work with a singular editor and it's able to do all that in one. So, you know, when I see things like that happening, I know that I don't know what to exactly expect, but what I do know is that, you know, things are going to increasingly get better and better for sure. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Yeah, Tony, that's another good point. A lot of build errors that Codex gave us. Yeah, Copilot's way behind. Before we deploy to AWS Amplify, I want you to ensure that all of the correct Sentry packages are properly installed. Also, make sure that our package lock.json and package.json file are in sync. Spark Spectrum said, what do you think about GLM 4.6? So that's actually a great question. So I actually made a video right before I started streaming of vibe coding with GLM 4.6. It'll be out tomorrow, and I'll, you know, in that video I share my thoughts. It'll be out tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, we're still in the process of fixing logs, but we substantially already improved a lot of it. So we've already improved the logs. We have a really nice CloudWatch dashboard now, and we're working with Sentry. So we just need to make sure that we finish running the npm run build. Before I start working on my API, I want to make sure that we actually did get the UI set up correctly before I then transition to work on the API. But we also got a really nice CloudWatch dashboard set up, which is cool. Sorry, I just turned down the music. Yeah, sorry, I just turned that down. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I had turned it up since we were locked in, getting Sentry set up in the UI. Jose, that's a good idea. Yeah, I turned it down. Thanks, guys. Yeah, 2027 to 2030 for AGI. Yeah, I mean, when you think about, you know, when ChatGPT came out, and then how much better the models actually have gotten, you know, it is incredible how much better it has gotten. But the question is the progress going to continue the way that it has gone? You know. Guys, want to see something cool? So basically, I want to show you guys the website data for... So I'll just give you an example. Like, here is the data for ViewCreator. And we just started tracking yesterday, as you guys know. So 879 events, 60 active users. And then what's really cool is for BridgeMind. Look at this. This is absolutely insane. Look at this. 887 new users, 924 active users, average engagement, 29 seconds, which is good because we essentially... what is this? That was a fifth. Crazy. So I think things are headed in the right direction, guys. Things are definitely headed in the right direction. We just have to continue. You know, it's just the consistency thing. Spark Spectrum said, what was the first real-world project that you vibe coded with GPT? So it was in 2023. I built a influencer marketing platform where influencers could essentially sign up and share their prices for different offerings that they had for sponsorships, and then brands would sign up and be able to match with them and partner with them. Hung said, what tools do you use to design, or just raw dog coded the UI? Yeah, I raw dogged it. But I mean cursor mainly, and then if I ever need like inspiration for something, like for example, like those background effects that you're seeing. Wait, sorry, I'm running npm run builds. There's gonna be some caching errors while this is running. But yeah, like for example, just like the background animations are, I use 21st Dev as a reference, which is really helpful. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. All right, back. Mythic, how's it going? Welcome back to the stream. We're doing good. Working on a Sentry integration. We're about to deploy and test to see if it's actually working. Let's also run an npm run build here on the API just to make sure that some of our updates didn't break anything. Let's see here, npm run build. Whoa! Looks like it did. 15 errors here. Okay, looks like our cursor agent is done running here. All right, okay. Yeah, welcome to the stream. So we're working on ViewCreator. So for those of you that don't know what we're actually working on or are new, ViewCreator is an all-in-one platform to create viral content for content creators and brands. So they're able to streamline their content creation, create better content, cheaper, faster, more viral content. But it's going to mainstream launch next week. We've been in open beta for a bit. We've got hundreds of users signed up, and we've been solving bugs, fixing problems, making the product slowly better and better. And if you're new here, stick around, make sure that you like and subscribe. Kind of locked in today, a little bit more of a chill stream. Doing a lot of stuff on my end at once, so I'm kind of multitasking and can't interact with you guys as much as I normally do, unfortunately, just because we're doing so much. Hope you guys understand. All right, let's see if we're still getting any of those build errors here. Let's run npm run build here. All right, no build errors. Perfect. All right, guys, watch this. So literally, one of the best ways to actually create thumbnails is using ViewCreator AI. So I have a thumbnail here, and I'm gonna essentially show you guys how this works. So let's go to downloads. And let's go to this here. I'm just going to say remove the text for GPT-5 Codex and replace it with the GLM 4.6. So drop that in. And what's crazy is I actually was trying to, I'll just show this to you guys. So I'm working on this on the side, right? And so a video comes out tomorrow, vibe coding with GLM 4.6. And what we need to do, I mean, I tried it with vidIQ 3 times, you know, to actually get it to add in this 4.6 logic, right? And here it doesn't look like it worked. So let's try this. the GPT-5 Codex text needs removed. Let's try that again. Imperium, how's it going? David, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Yasin, welcome to the stream. Thanks, Hong. Appreciate it. All right, so these two got it. Problem is that kind of sacrifice some quality there. And this is just a good example. It's like there are some limitations to some of these tools right now. But you can see, I mean, we're getting to a decent spot. Oh, guys, look who's coming over. Look who's coming over, guys. Check this out. Come here, Shane. He likes the butt scratches. Those are his favorite. Titan, come here. Come say hi to the stream. Come here. Come say hi. Titan. He just woke up from a nap. He's shy. Titan, come here. Come here. Come here. That's Titan, or Big T as I call him. All right. So, come on. But then, like, for example, even if I try it in vidIQ, which is essentially a competitor, let's see if they can get it, if theirs gets it. Vibe Dog. His name's Titan, or Big T. Alright, this got it. Jason, how's it going? Welcome back to the stream. Oh no, I ran out of credits. I'll do this another time. So definitely some improvements to make, but overall, decent tool. Still in beta. Let's check up on the status of our deployments here. Looks like our deployments failed. Why did the deployments fail? Oh, Dan, that's actually a really good point. David, I'm majoring in finance. Yeah, Dan, that's a really good point. I mean, I just love this. I just love working. I could probably just genuinely work all day. Maybe I should. Nah, I gotta spend some time with my family later on today, so. Otherwise, probably would be streaming all day. David said, I can work better and faster when I have your stream open. Thanks. Yeah, David. Happy to help. That's what it's for. Brian said same here. Good. That honestly helps me keep working because, you know, it's like one thing is that, you know, sometimes like today, on a day like today where I'm not able to, you know, entertain as much, I would say. Like right now, I can't take as many questions from chat just because I'm working on like, you know, I'm working on so much on my other monitor right now to get Sentry set up that I'm like kind of locked in today. But to hear that, that's actually really helpful because I just, you know, it helps keep me going because I'm like, hey, do people even want to watch this? You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I'm not even talking that much, but that helps me because even on, it makes it so that even on days where I can't talk as much, that I feel, you know, that it's still helping at least somebody, you know? So thank you guys for sharing that. Because today is one of those days where it's kind of just like head down grind. Okay. KG Tachi said he just keeps me on while in the background while I work. Let's go. Unknown said, quick question. I saw your vid yesterday about TestSprite. Just wondering, you can use it for mobile apps, right? Yeah. Yeah, any like front-end UI or actually, I mean, yeah, you should be able to use it for a React Native application if that's what you're using. I'm not sure though. That's a good question. Let's go, Hung. That's what I like to hear. Let's go. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Nacho said, it helps me code at the same time, feeling some company. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Gerardo said, it's like I'm working next to someone also coding, which helps me work. Okay, great. That makes me... Honestly, I'll keep going then because it's like in the back of my mind sometimes I'm like, all right, like, you know, I can't talk that much. Like, should I keep streaming? And I'm like, nah, let's just keep it going, guys. Because we got work to do. And don't forget that not only are you working it with me, but you're also working with Big T. Big T's grinding too. Big T over here. He's grinding. Big T is quite the grinder. Look at him, he's grinding on a nap right now. He is locked in. All right, looks like I finally found one of the build errors, so we should be able to fix that and get it deployed. Ultrasil, how's it going? Right now, we're having a little bit more of a locked-in stream. Yeah, how long will I stream for? Not sure. I do have an event later today, so I definitely... Honestly, if I didn't have an event, I'd be streaming for probably like 6 to 8 hours today, just because we got so much going on. I'm trying to get this Sentry hooked up, but I do have an event later tonight, so I'm gonna have to call at some point, but Tony, I'm dead. Ididia said he's got to go for an overnight hackathon. That's awesome.
For generating timestamp.
David, I think finance is semi-difficult, but I mean, school is also like not, in my opinion, it's like college is not very challenging if you're focused on it completely, so you should be able to do it if you're already in business. It like has a lot to do with stocks, so if you're into the stock market, I would suggest it. Hypertech, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. It's going good today. Right now, we're kind of locked in on like some other things. We're locked in on like some private stuff, so I'm just kind of locked. Today's kind of just like a grind with me stream pretty much, because I can't take a bunch of questions from chat today. We're kind of locked in. If you guys are just tuning in, make sure you like and subscribe, because like normal, we're grinding. Ultrasil, that's very, very well said. UID, yeah, we're ready for launch. Basically what we're doing today is, as you guys know, the thing that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get better feedback so that I can debug issues as they arise once we actually launch. So tomorrow, UID, I have a video going out, which is vibe coding with GLM 4.6. I'm sure that you'll like that one, just because you've talked about 4.6 a lot. That video is going out live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that instead of streaming tomorrow, I can actually focus in on the marketing videos. So then Monday, really a big topic of discussion for Monday is going to be actually launching our initial marketing campaigns. And really, you know, on Sunday, all I want to do is, it's like, hey, just create maybe like a couple different ads. You know, it doesn't have to be anything too crazy, but just a couple different ones so that we can actually start spending some money on paid advertisements, as well as doing some organic traffic stuff. Like, we're going to post ViewCreator on Product Hunt next week, and do all that we need to do. It is still failing. Why did it fail this time? Just diagnose, do not update anything. Check to see if the package.lock.json and package.json are in sync. This is a common issue. If you guys are watching and haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Prince Jr., that's really well said. See you, Tony. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Krishnam, yeah. Yeah, you gotta know what's going on still. You did not fix the main branch. They're both still failing. Diagnose the issue. I'm getting pissed. I've been stuck on this problem for a bit. It's all right. Thank you, Prince. Yeah, Dane, we're still going. You know me, man. Always a grinder. People my whole life they've been like, why do you work so hard? I don't get it. Yeah, 100% Dane. I got this error when I ran npm run start dev. This song is fire. That deserves a replay. If you guys are watching, haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We are 3 subs away from 4,700, so if you are one of those 3 that are in the stream, haven't subbed, join the community. Let's get to 4,700. Let's go. Or share the channel with a friend. I'm sure we can get there. We got 50 people watching. Yeah, I use MCPs. Oh my goodness, I'm getting tired of this not working. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. All right, guys, I need to sign off the stream because I actually have an event that I need to go to. So I would keep working, but I need to get ready. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a great rest of your Saturday. I'll be back on Monday. Again, tomorrow I'm going to be working on marketing, and I have a video going live, vibe coding with GLM 4.6. So I will see you guys on Monday. Have a great rest of your day, and keep grinding. If you've been working, even though I'm finishing up the stream, don't stop grinding. All right, keep going. You guys got this. We gotta just continue to make progress every day. Make progress, move forward, and who knows where we're going to be by the end of the year. I mean, it's going to be incredible. So have a great rest of your day, and I